Hi guys, I hope all of you are doing well. So a lot of the PRs and the citizens who want to sponsor their parents, they used to have one logical option, which is a parent and grandparent sponsorship. That option has almost become a joke, really doesn't work. Other option is a super visa. Yes, your parents can stay with you for a longer term, but you have to be at the high cost of insurance and there is no permanency attached to it, right? It is still a temporary visa anyway. So an alternate option that many people look for is to apply for a humanitarian and compassionate ground application for the parents to be with you for a very long time. But there are some mistakes that I see that people are making in this kind of applications that are actually negatively impacting the parents' current legal status here in Canada. So if you are into that kind of a situation that you are planning to make an agency application for your parents and you really don't know the basics of it, here is a video for you. I'm Niladri Mukherjee. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I practice in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. The first thing is that your parents need to be residing with you for the entire duration of the HNC application. So if an HNC application takes, let's say for example, 2 years, your parents need to be there with you ideally for a period of that entire 2 years. Now, what if they do not have the luxury to stay with you for 2 years? What if they are just on a visitor visa? Number one, you can extend that through visitor record for technically for an indefinite period of time. Practically, these days, the officers are careful enough not to issue a visitor record beyond a certain point in time. So maybe 1 year is all right. Beyond that, it's questionable, right? So strategize the stuff accordingly. If your parents have to leave the country while that agency application is in process, that may have a negative ramifications on the agency application, because by law, person claiming to apply under HNC humanitarian ground should be residing in Canada, because you are otherwise saying that their exit from Canada will cause a distress on them. So if they leave Canada, that is technically acting against this. Now, the law also says that even if they have to leave, if somebody whose HNC application is ongoing have to leave the country, that does not mean that HNC application will be stopped. The application will continue to be processed, but obviously the officer may ask the question about the authenticity of their HNC claim, something to keep you in mind. The moral of the story here is, if you are thinking to apply for a humanitarian compassionate grounds application for the parent, it is super important to strategize the case. Not all the visitor records are approved. I have seen literal cases where people have come for consultations after their parents' visitor records got refused, because not every officer is nice, not every applications are done correctly. So strategy, in my opinion, is the key, right? So there is no point in applying for an agency application if your parents have to leave the country within, let's say, 4 months, 5 months of time, because an application processing takes time for agency, at least 1.5 to 18 months, or 1.5 years to 18 months kind of a time. That's something you have to keep in mind. So if you are thinking to apply for agency for your parents, it may be a good idea to schedule a consultation to strategize the case to start with, so that you understand the next steps to it, proper steps from somebody like myself who actually work on this kind of applications a lot, so that you do not end up making a mistake. Because unfortunately, there is no point in spending thousands of dollars on a complicated application such as HNC if they don't ideally qualify for HNC in the long term, right? So it does make all the sense to understand the steps before you take the major steps in it. So if you need our professional assistance with letting you know to how to go about it, you can hop onto our website nuvonation.ca, book a session from there, and we could discuss in detail. Hope this helps. Bye now.